Since your last football snap, what have you been up to?
Not much at all. I kind of been just working on myself. A lot of people have backup plans. I'll just save some money and just said I was gonna relax. When I was done, that's all I've really been doing. Getting closer with my kids, and just trying to stay out of the way mostly.
I hear you, man. So let's get started with how did you get involved with football as a child, man?
As a child, I think everybody in the South played football. It was a must. Ever since Little League, and just something to do, pretty much to get out of the house. Because usually where I was from, if you didn't have a job, you was
Yeah.
gonna do some kind of work, and I figured out sports was pretty good, and I had to stay at home, and I ain't had to worry about getting a job at the time. So I actually only played 1 year of high school football. I was basketball and track, and I was in band for a couple of years. Don't like to tell everybody that, but I ended
Hey,
up, yeah, ended up playing 1 year of high school football and got a scholarship, and the rest is history.
I hear you, man. What instrument did you play?
Drums, that's the easiest thing. I was profession, yeah.
Hey, I hear you, man. So when it came to high school to college, how was that recruiting process for you personally?
For me, it wasn't too great because, like I said, I only played 1 year of high school football, so people didn't really notice me until maybe the end of the season. Because I played receiver and I played defensive end, and uh, and I was a kicker also. Just to throw that in there. But they end up seeing me that last year, and that's when I started getting a lot of notoriety, and a lot of schools from within the state of South Carolina was looking at me. Uh, so I didn't get, like, I guess, a lot of national notoriety, but I definitely got regional notoriety, and for me, it was quick. It was quick because I only really got to see, because a lot of people I think they go during their junior year or during their senior year. I had to go like in Christmas and then get ready for the basketball season. I also had to do you know, a lot of extra stuff right out of high school, so I didn't really get to do a lot.
Yes, sir. So what stood out about South Carolina to you personally and your family in that recruiting process?
Mostly my mom liked the most. I'm a mama's boy. I was raised by my mom, so the big thing for me was just to simply be closer to home, and she felt comfortable with it, and I did too. I didn't really understand like football as much as I do now. Not saying I wouldn't have chose South Carolina, but I probably would have picked a school that had a better position at the time because I was playing defensive end, and I didn't know we were so stacked at defensive end. So, but I ended up being a linebacker when I got drafted. So, but I probably would have picked the school differently if it came to that. But I'm glad I went to South Carolina because I got a great education, and also I got to meet some great guys there.
Definitely, man. What coach and player had the most impact on you as a person and player, man?
I have a couple. I can't just say one. I mean, you can say that you have one guy, but I would say in college it was Rick Petrie. Great guy. He also had like Warren Sapp at Miami, well, he had a lot of guys that's in the league now. But I think for him, it was more just sticking with me and doing the one-on-one stuff. Because like I said, I didn't play a lot of football, so he was kind of like a father figure, an uncle, a friend, and everything. When he found out that I was good enough to make it to the NFL, he didn't hold back on me. At first I thought he didn't like me, but he really did a good job of preparing me for the NFL. I wish I would have listened to him a little more when I was younger, but you can understand you're 18 to 21 at that time, and it's hard to comprehend what people are telling you.
Definitely, man. So college to the NFL, man. How was that process?
It
Was
was tough. It was tough because I got hurt my rookie year. It was, and then you gotta grow up fast. People don't understand that. I think it's a lot better now because they have the rookie symposium. They have a lot of older guys that have went through it. They are able to and capable of talking to the guys. I think when I was there, it was more of like work. When I got there, it felt like work for the older guys there, and for the younger guys, it was kind of like just sit and wait to play. Now the guys are coming in the NFL. If you're a first round pick, you're pretty much starting now. You rarely see a first round pick now sitting and waiting. I mean, even with quarterbacks now, you see them like they get them in the game as soon as possible. Because I was actually a backup. I was a first round pick with four. We had four first round picks for the New York Jets, and I was actually the second pick of that first, but I still was in the first round, 13 pick. But we didn't really have people around us that was teaching us how to be kids to men. It was just straight like you a man now. So it was kind of tough because you try to do the same thing it was, and you really weren't getting a lot of, I guess, stuff they have now, like the Ricketts Symposium, and also I think just with the generalization in colleges, the colleges are doing a great job transferring people from college to pro.
For sure, man. Was there any nerves when you put your helmet on for the first time for the Jets?
Honestly, I can't really remember. I knew I didn't want to lose because we lost 21 straight games. Yeah, I lost 21 straight games in college. So I knew one thing I didn't want to do is lose, but we was about to lose the game, and I was on the bench about to like dang near cry. And Brian Cox came and he said, "We're gonna win the game, man. Calm down, Rook." I was like, "Man," I said, "You don't understand. I've been losing for a long time." But I remember that. But I don't know if I was literally nervous, but it definitely was. It was different, but I don't think it was nervous.
For sure, man. So during that whole your NFL career, what motivated you to keep playing at a high level and produce?
Uh, I think when I first got in the NFL, it was family. Um, then it came to be the crowd, like in the middle of my I guess my arbitration, my place of being there. It was like just being around the fans. And then like the end of my career, probably from year 6, 7 on, going to 15, I wanted to ring. I wanted to ring. I didn't even know anything about records, or I wasn't really thinking about the Hall of Fame at the time. I wasn't thinking about none of that. It was just like trying to win a ring. And then like later in my career, I saw like, man, I could have done a lot more, but definitely not having a ring is probably one of the biggest things I regret about football.
For sure, man. During your NFL career and college career, the best athletes that you went against?
Best athlete I went against.
Yes, sir. On the offensive line and receivers.
Uh, See, it's tough for me to pick one person out because I think everybody contributed to me being good or being a better player. So I don't really like calling somebody the greatest ever because it's crazy because you have people in college that probably were way better than people in the NFL, but they just never made it. So I think most of the toughest people I had were probably in high school because my first year was my hardest year, and college was tough too. I had like Randy Wheeler. He actually played in the league for a little while. I ended up getting injured and couldn't play anymore. But there are a lot of people that prepared me for when I got to the NFL. It was a lot easier. I mean, with running backs, I can take you to high school for that. It's just funny because people say in the league and the greatest people you played against, but it's tough to say because at different regimes in your life is different calibers of players, and especially when you're not playing at the highest level, but you getting ran over. Like my beginning of my career, it was just like everybody was like just like beast. But then like by my third year in the league, it's like not saying everybody was regular, but I knew I was capable of playing with anybody and I was capable of making any tackle and everything like that. So I wasn't really scared. But I've watched like Curtis Martin in person because in practice, I watched Michael Turner. I got to see Julio Jones in person. So like those guys right there, I didn't play against them because they was on my team, but watching their preparation and watching them as pros, like Julio's probably the best receiver I ever seen. Running back, it would be Curtis Martin in person. I played against all kind of great running backs. And that's no question. But me personally, just seeing the guys in person is totally different.
Definitely, man. So you're talking about the talent, but throughout your career, how did you sustain getting hit or hitting players and
It
sustaining?
wasn't. It wasn't really trying to. It wasn't trying to sustain back in the day. It wasn't like it is now. Like I watch football now, I see a lot of people running out of bounds. I don't see people getting, even the D line and the O line. I don't really see them. We had some dirty players. Like we had a lot of doubling and chip blocking and cut blocking and stuff like that. They don't have in the game right now, and I think it's being successful in adding to people's careers. As you see how the quarterbacks and a lot of the D line and people are having extended careers, but it's definitely different football. For older guys, it's kind of tough to watch sometimes
Yes,
because
sir.
we don't think it's soft. We just think it's completely different from how we was trained to play.
Definitely, man. So transitioning to life after football, the lessons that you learned through it all, how have you applied those things to your personal life?
Um, in football, you learn to persevere through a lot of things. But it's tough because you can't put a lot of stuff that you learn in football in real life. I can't go and just hit somebody. I just can't go cuss a coach out. There are a lot of things that they say, the discipline, stuff like that, and there are a lot of things. But being a football player, compared to being on a football team and things like that, you can't really like flip all that stuff in real life. People say like, oh yeah, I take that from football. I took my discipline. I took this right here. I'm looking like, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. I played defensive end. We was jumping on people and hitting people. And I can't take that in the real life. So I can understand what they're saying about it. No, I know I can understand what people saying about the fact of learning how to be around people and be a leader and everything. But nah, there are a lot of things in football you can't take in real life.
Sure, man. So, best advice you could give a younger player that you.
Um, I would say on the off season, go back to school. Do things with your free time. Don't waste it. I understand partying when you're young, but set yourself up for when you're done. I mean, they're getting great contracts now, so I would definitely like try to get into business or get into something. So when you're done with football, you can pop back up quick as possible. Um, you know, Try not to have too much idle time when it comes to moving forward with your life.